R. Sarasu is an assistant head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan College of Engineering and Technology, Mamallapuram, Chennai. She has 7 years of teaching experience for undergraduate and postgraduate students. She has also served as head of the Department of Information and Technology for 2 years. She has been teaching in the area of data structures, computer architecture, design and analysis of algorithm, internet programming, advanced computer architecture, information security, soft computing, system software, web technology, and advanced Java programming. She has attended various workshops and many faculty development programs. She has also presented papers in national and international conferences. She has comprehensive problem-solving ability and good communication skill with a strong inclination for teaching. Her research interests are web data mining, web data extraction, and semantic information retrieval.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in computer science. Today we are going to see series of lecture on web technology semester 6 paper 15. Unit 2 covers introduction to JavaScript, advantages of JavaScript, arrays, function and dialog boxes. Today outline of this program is recursion, introduction to arrays, arrays and function, array objects and the introduction to DHTML. Last session we were discussing about function, and if the function is calling again and again is called as recursion. So function is a set of tasks to do a specified task, whereas recursion is a function which calls itself to do a specified task. Recursion means calling by itself. So a function returns a value with the help of return statement. The recursion function returns a value with the help of return statement. So for example, if we are calculating factorial of a number which is given by the user, the fact function is executed again and again until the factorial is being completed and the last nth value have been completed. So that is given as n star fact of n minus 1. So if the user is entering 5, so 5 star fact of n minus 1, 5 minus 1, 4. So again this fact function is calculated with the help of n value 4. Again this n 4 is assigned to n. So this task is repeated until we have calculated the factorial of that particular number which is given by the user. Let us see an example program for recursion. HTML is being differentiated with JavaScript with the help of script tag. Yes, so the script tag is given here and the user have to enter the value for which the calculation has been done, factorial should be done. Here fact n is a function. So when this is a calling, so when fact n is being called, it goes to the definition of the function here. So the control come here and the n value is being substituted for n. Here n is equal to 0. If n value is 0, it return once, otherwise it will calculate the factorial. So here again the function is called. So a function is called by itself is called as recursive. Here the function name is fact which is being called again by itself. So this is called as recursive. So this program is used to calculate the factorial of a given number. So user has to enter the input and it checks whether it is equal to 0, it returns factorial 1, and if it is not 0, it will calculate the factorial of particular number and it print it. So let us see the demo for this factorial. So we have to enter the number for calculating the factorial. So the factorial of a given number 5 is 120. So the output is displayed as factorial of a given number 120. So when a function is called by itself is called as recursion or recursive function. Next, the important topic is arrays. What is meant by arrays? So when we want to enter more number of input at a time, we can go in for arrays. So an array is a group of memory location that all have the same name and normally of the same data type. That is, array is also called as a collection of homogeneous data type under a common name. So to refer a particular location or element in the array, it is accessed with the array name and the position number. So the position number given in the square bracket indicates the subscript or the array position. The subscript may be an integer or an expression. So array is a collection of homogeneous data type, and each array position is accessed by its name and its indexes, and the array will be enclosed with position number, and the array subscript will be in integer or expression. So let us see how to declare an array. So array is a sequential data structure. So the sequence of memory is being allocated continuously and the values are stored here. So how to declare array in JavaScript? So in JavaScript, the new operator which is used to allocate the array dynamically at the runtime. So how to declare an array? So it is declared by, as usual, it is array is also a variable where indicates the variable, and my array is an array name or is equal to new. So it is an operator which allocate the size of the what size we have given. So if we give array size as 5, it will allocate the memory for integer size of 5. So whatever the size here we given in the parenthesis, that will be allocated by this new operator dynamically. So new operator is used to allocate the array at the runtime. So what is this array? So this array represent an object. So array is an inbuilt object which is present in JavaScript. So the user has to use the array name and then is equal to new array. So array is an inbuilt object. We can also declare the array like this. So variable array name equal to new array of size. So both ways we can use to declare the array. So array occupies sequential memory space, and the new operator is used to allocate the array at the dynamic time with the size specified in the parenthesis. So let us see an example for this. So if my array has the size of 5, so it will be contiguously allocated sequentially in the memory. So all the array starts with subscript 0. So a of 0 is a first position in the array, and a of 1 is second, and a of 2 is third. So likewise we can allocate n number of array elements, a space for n number of elements in the memory using this new operator. So every array starts with 0. So array is called as 0 subscripting, and this a is called as name of the array, and 5 is called as subscript or index. So or we can also say this a of 5 as position number, which is used to access the particular element. Here the element is 40. So the array elements or values is 20, 30, 50, 60 and 40. So these are called as array elements or array values, and these are called as array position or array index. So this is called as subscript. So this is the index which is used by the programmer, or we can use this subscript to access that particular array in the program. So we can also give array values during a compile time, or we can initialize a value at the compile time itself. So how to initialize the values? So it is possible to declare and initialize the array values in one step. We can specify the list of values. Also we can possible to initialize some values. So we can initialize with variable n is equal to 10, 20, 40. So likewise we can able to initialize the array. Next here the array has been declared with 10 elements, and we are going to get this array elements and subscript, and we are going to calculate the sum of the index in this program. So here the 10 numbers is there and we are going to just print this. So 10 numbers and this is the values given at the compile time. We are going to iterate for loop, since for loop is needed here because we have to iterate 10 elements. So we need for loop to iterate this array and print the values present in the array. So to print the elements we are going to use document.writeln the array of I. So this is an example for array initialization at compile time. So variable, the array is equal to the values and the what length, the length represent the array object method. So which it returns the length of the array. So here is 10. So up to 10 it prints the value present in each position of the array. So let us see an example for adding subscript of an array. So here using subscript we are going to add the array. So script starts with script language equal to JavaScript. The array name was the array and we have 5 elements present in the array. So we are going to get the total of all the elements, 5 elements, using the array position I. The array position the array of I. So this is the access. We can use integer or expression. So I am going to use here integer. I is equal to 0. So first position, what is the element? 1. So it will be taken and it is stored in total. Next array for loop will be incremented and the next element is taken 2 and the total is being done with 1 and 2. So the total is now 3. So again the for loop is iterated. So this for loop run for 5 times and it will print the total of the element present in the array. So 5 elements and the 5 elements sum will be printed using this total. So this is an initialization of array at the compile time. So we are initializing the array with 5 elements, calculating the sum of 5 elements and printing this using total. So this is the example for initialization of array. Let us see the demo for array. So the total is being 15. So each and every time when the for loop is executed, a number is being fetched from the array and it is added with the next elements or sequential element by iterating the array. So how many elements it is present in that, we will iterate the array to get each and every element and sum it, and we have printed here. So this is the example for array initialization. So next one is array at the runtime. So we want to give the values at the runtime, different values, not the static values at the compile time. So how to give the values at the runtime and initialize the array at the runtime. So we have to declare the array and allocate the array using new operator, and we can iterate the for loop to get the array values at the runtime using this windows.prompt from the user. So here the example, variable n1 is my array, is equal to new, array is an object and 5. So we can get 5 elements. I am not initializing any value in the like this 10, 20 and 40. I am going to give the values for array elements at the runtime. So this is the runtime value, runtime allocation. So the size of the array is 5. So we have to use for loop definitely to get the 5 elements and store this in each position. So this represents n1 of I represent the subscript where the each and every element is going to be stored here. So let us see an example for this. So here the for loop script starts with JavaScript and array has been initialized with new array of 5. So the 5 is a array size and for loop has been declared with 5 condition. For loop runs up to the value 5 and each time when the loop is iterated, user has to enter the value and the whatever the user have entered, it will be stored in n1 of 5. So n1 of 5 contains 5 elements and again the for loop is being iterated to print the values present in each position and also its position number. So that is the index which is called as I. Each time what is the value present in that index and it will be printed. Each time the for loop is iterated, the position number and the value will be printed sequentially. So let us see and execute this for demo. So we have to enter the values at the runtime for array. Since I have given 5 elements, I have to enter 5 elements for my array. So I am giving value at the runtime. So I am given the values, 5 values. So the array value at the position 0 is 4, 1 is 4, 2 is 5, 3 is 6 and 4 is 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this represents the index number or position number, and this represents the 4, 4, 5, 6, this represents the value given for the array at the runtime by the user. So this is the example program for array at the runtime, how to give the values at the runtime. So 2 steps, we have to initialize the array and give the values at the runtime. Let us have the short break. Welcome back after the break. Before the break, we were discussing about how to get the array at the runtime. So let us see what are the types of array present in JavaScript arrays. So as usual, we have one-dimensional array and the two-dimensional arrays. So one-dimensional array, which we have seen in the last program, is how to declare one-dimensional array. Variable n1 new is equal to array of 5. So this consists of only rows, no columns are there, whereas two-dimensional array consists of rows and columns. So we can also create two-dimensional array using new operator as usual. Two-dimensional array is called as arrays of array, since it has that appearance, and each row or column is being, each row in the array is being encrypted with a square bracket, indicates it is a row. So here variable C contains this 2 rows, with the first row has 2 elements and second row has 3 elements, so 3 columns. So this is an example for array initialization, two-dimensional array initialization at compile time. So next one is two-dimensional array at the runtime, how to declare and get the values at the runtime. So same way we have to declare the array variable C is equal to new array of 2. So this indicates arrays has 2 rows. The first row is C of 0, which has 5 elements, and C of 1 has 3 elements. So the user has to enter 15 elements during the array giving the values at the runtime. So they have to enter values for 2 rows, C of 0 and C of 1. So this types of arrays are used to get more number of inputs, rows and columns from the user. For example, we can do matrix multiplications using this two-dimensional array. So we have rows and columns. So that type of application programs you can go in for array, that is two-dimensional arrays. Let us see an example program for two-dimensional array. So the script is being enclosed with script language is equal to JavaScript. I have array as A, which has array name as A, which is, this is an example program for initializing two-dimensional array at compile time. So we have two-dimensional array here. So it consists of 3 rows. So the first row whose value is 1, 2, 3, and second row whose value is 4, 5, 6, and third row whose value is 7, 8, 9. So 3 rows and have been declared here, and to ask, I am going to print this this array element in terms of matrix. So 3 by 3 matrices. So how to get the arrays? So we have to, as usual, use for loop to iterate to get each and every array element. So since here we have rows and columns, we have to print using A of I and A of j, A of I of j. Not alone A of I, we have to print the column also. So both rows and columns should be printed. So this is the basic difference between the one-dimensional array and two-dimensional array. So in one-dimensional array we generally be using A of I only, whereas in two-dimensional array we should use A of I of j. So this is used to print the array in row and column manner. So we are since we have 3 rows and 3 columns. We iterated with for loop with j less than 3 and less than 3, since array starts with 0. So, 0, 1 and 2. So, it will iterated and it will be printing this using document.write which is used to print the matrix values. So, let us execute and see the output for this program. So, it has been printed with matrix format as usual. So, first row, second row and third row. So, this is an example program for 2-dimensional array. So, 3 by 3 matrix have been printed in this manner. So, we have to iterate the loop and we have to print it. So, this is an example program for 2-dimensional array. We can also use a function with arrays. So, in last session we were discussing about function. It is used to do a specified task. So, how to mingle this merge this array to a function. So, we can pass the entire array to the function. Since array is a group of elements, we can pass the entire array to the function to do a specified task. So, for example, if we want to print sum of n numbers, so we can give 10 values inside an array. We can just pass this array to an function. So, you can iterate 10 values and it will print the sum of that 10 numbers. So, this is the basic advantages of combining array and function. So, we can directly pass the array as a parameter to the function. So, we can pass the entire array as a parameter to the function. When an array is passed to the function, the array name is simply passed. For example, if we have variable here, the variable is AR, array name is AR, and it is been declared with the size 5, and this is a for loop to get 5 values from the user, and we are using a function called as display. So, this is a user defined function. We are calling the user defined function. So, with these array elements, so this 5 elements which the user has entered will be directly passed to the function. So, this is example for passing an array to the array variable to a function. We can pass directly as a parameter. So, this AR represent the parameter. So, the function usually contains a parameter. Here it is not a normal parameter, it is a array parameter. So, this is an example program for passing array to the function. So, you can directly pass array to the function. Next is array objects. Since array is inbuilt array object, it has certain function or methods to do a specified task. What are the methods? Concat, so it will combine two arrays. Concatenation we can merge two arrays, and index of this index of is used for searching the particular element. If you want to search which position the element is present, so for that purpose we can also use this index, and we can join all the elements of arrays into a string. So, this is 2 or more arrays and return the copy of joined arrays, whereas it also join all the elements in a string format. So, this is the join method, and last index of method is also used for searching purpose, starting at the end. From the back end of the array we have to search. From back end we can search the array using last index of, and we can push and pop method. The pop method is used to remove the last element present in the array, whereas push method add a new element into the array. So, the array updations are possible with the help of this inbuilt object pop and push. Next, value of array. So, returns a primitive value of array, the exact value which is present in the array. Next, reverse the array will reverse the elements present in the array, and slice means a part of an array will be returned, and sort is used to sort the element present in the array. So, these are all the basic array functions or methods which is available inbuilt in array objects. So, array object is an inbuilt one. Inside that object we have this kind of array methods. So, this is all about arrays. Let us see an interesting topic of DHTML, which is called dynamic HTML. What is the difference then? So, we have HTML, we have the tags, usual JavaScript we can embed tags, and what is the difference between DHTML? We can dynamically change the presentation of a particular tag present in the program, or the user can enter the input at the runtime to change the presentations or the event handling is a main advantage of DHTML. So to make the interaction more and the presentation more, we are going in for DHTML. In DHTML, we can combine JavaScript, HTML and CSS. So it is possible there. So let us see what is meant by DHTML. It is a markup language used by the web developer can control how to display and position the HTML elements in the browser window. Elements in the tags. So it is an interactive feature introduced by Microsoft Internet Explorer. Then the basic advantage is you can easily add the effects to the web page with the help of DHTML. We can animate the text and images in the document. DHTML can also capture the user input and instantly process and response to the user data which they have entered. So these are all the basic advantages of DHTML. So let us see what is the difference between the HTML and DHTML then. So HTML, it is used to create the static web page, whereas DHTML it is used to create the dynamic web page. We work only with the HTML tags in HTML, whereas in DHTML we can use HTML tags, CSS and JavaScript. Next is HTML is less interactive and we cannot able to change the text and graphics at the dynamically at the runtime, whereas in DHTML is more interactive. We can change the entire web page by giving the input at the runtime. So this is a basic difference between the HTML and DHTML. So DHTML is meant for more interactivity with the user. So let us see the document object. We have seen about the objects and collection. Let us see the document object, how it works. So document object is used to access each and every element present in the XHTML document. So for example, I am entering color of the web page. So my color will be white first and it will be turned to the color which we have entered. So to make the presentation at the runtime, we are going in for document object. So how to give the color for the particular object at the runtime. So here my object document is an object. So we have to access the body, and next is object is style, and the background color is the input color which the user is given. So this accessing is done with the help, this modification is done with the help of document object. So I am changing the background color of my web page with the color which I am giving at the runtime. So I have to access body tag and the style, background style, and the background color I am going to give it in the runtime. Whatever the color we have given, it should be displayed. So let us see an example for this. So this is my web page. It is showing a message, welcome to our website. If I am entering the color as red, so it will be showing with the help of red color. So we can change some elements or document appearances at the runtime with the help of this document object. So document object is used to access each and every element. So my element here is body's background color. So that has been given as red. So this is an example for making the presentation of the web page at the runtime. So let us see the example for this. So this input color, the color which I am giving should be entered with the help of this window object, window.prompt. So color has been entered and this input color is assigned to this background color. So initially it is white. When I am giving red, it will be red, blue or something else. It will be whatever the colors have been given. The page is being loaded. The function is called and the color is being modified here. So let us summarize this session. So we have seen about recursion, arrays, types of array, what is meant by DHTML, what is the difference between DHTML and HTML, and the little bit introduction about document object model. Next, let us pose some question for understanding purpose. So what is meant by recursion, what is meant by array and how it is initialized, what are the types of array, what is the difference between HTML and DHTML, what are all the objects and collections present in the DHTML. Let us conclude the session on JavaScript. We will see the JavaScript DHTML in next session. Thank you.